audio. In 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 audio.
Oh, yes, people. What's going on? Welcome back to Saeed TV. This is Super Sunday, a new show on a Sunday. You know what I mean? I know a lot of people get bored on a Sunday thinking what's there to kind of show. You know, TV's dead nowadays. So, yeah, man, we thought we'd bring you a new show, Super Sunday. We got a man like Goonie representing Chelsea in the building. What are you saying, Goonie? What are you telling him?
All good, man. All good, man. It's good to be back here on the channel, man. You get me? Just looking forward to what's going on during this summer transfer window. Although more outgoings and incomings for us, but there's still some time to go. You get me?
Yeah, man. Definitely, man. Representing Tottenham. What are you telling them, George? What are you saying?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Like they say, man. Like when he said, looking forward to this transfer window. Looking forward to get my do-rag back on, man. My hair's looking long right now.
Yeah,
So
man,
we
what's
need
going on,
wins.
man? Do-rag.
Tottenham need some wins and some good news, and the do-rag's back. So yeah, look out for it though. TikTok coming soon.
Come on, man. Come on. We love to see it, man. And we got a gal on the show, man, representing Arsenal. You get me? You can see them in the banner in the background. You know, the place to be nowadays, man. Everything's all rosy at Arsenal, man. I feel like I see more Arsenal prop on my timeline than anywhere before. So, yeah, man. It looks like there's good things happening at Arsenal. What are you saying, the gal?
Bro, good vibes, good times. That's what it is. The summertime shine. That's what we're doing. Arsenal, we're trying to take this summer serious and then get ready for preseason so we can hit the ground running when the season starts. I'm happy to be here, bro.
Yeah, man, definitely, man. And obviously, as you can see on the thumbnail, Roms is meant to be here, but obviously, unfortunately, he said he couldn't make it this week. So big up to Roms. He'll be back next week on the channel. So big up to Roms each and every time representing Liverpool. But we got to start with one place, man, and that's Levi Colwill, man. I don't know about you, yeah, but I feel like there's always one kid that gets the attraction every year. And I feel like this is summer of Levi Colwill. But we're going to play the clip of yesterday of him and by the
Come
way,
on, man. Hey, listen, we're both coming back. He is as well. Listen, hey, I'll make sure he comes back. You get it?
This guy, bro. This guy's an idiot.
yeah, man. There we go, people, man. I thought I was George in the video there, man. Yeah, the similar, man. Similar look. But you know what, man? Let's go with you, Guni. When you saw that video though, does that make you feel great, or does that make you feel like, yo, man, like he's trying to hot him up in front of the Instagram live? He don't want to be really hearing that when he just won a Euro 20 under 21 final. How did you perceive, or did you get that kind of,
I felt
video
that
there?
I felt that Levi dealt with it the way he was supposed to deal with it, professionally. Do you know what I mean? And for somebody that's so young to just keep his mouth shut, he could have been tempted to have, for his own personal gain, he could have had a viral moment there that would have benefited him. Do you know what I mean? Boosted up his profile a little bit, but he didn't. He chose to keep quiet. Personally, I don't really read too much into it. Do you know what I mean? The club have spoken. They've said that, Pochettino wants to work with him. The club want to keep him. They've got no intention of selling him. He's seen as untouchable at Chelsea. So that's just where I'm at.
When they say he was coming back next year, my interpretation was they were talking about the Euros. Was they not talking about coming back to the Euros again, like with the senior squad?
Nah,
it's reacted. You could tell that they were talking about Chelsea.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's what I thought. I generally thought at first that's what I thought it was. Like I didn't take it in. I thought, they think they're getting into the senior squad next year. They think they're coming back to do the big boys, and that was my interpretation. But clearly wrong. Clearly wrong.
You know what I don't get though? He's already a Chelsea player. Like, what's the hype? Like, I don't understand it. I get it. He's at Brighton, but he's coming back to Chelsea anyway. Like, I don't understand. Like, listen, I think he's a good player, yeah. But this hype that we're bringing around him, like, just relax, everybody, man. I just feel like sometimes we put these players on a pedestal, and now he's acting a bit cocky, in my opinion. For me, like.
England fans, we don't really get to see. Let's be honest. Like with regards to English defenders, we ain't got much high elite players of ball playing ability. You got Stones, but apart from him, there isn't any other English defenders. So I feel like when you get one,
Ben White,
and look, you have Maguire. Maguire's not. Come on, man, that's not
Ben White. Ben White.
Who?
Ben White, I don't think he's
Ben White, again, he's not an elite high level ball playing centre.
No, he's not.
Again,
he's
for
not.
me,
He's
look,
not.
he's
failed at right back. He's a right
No,
back.
that's a casual take, my guy. You my guy.
Levi Colwill is not getting pushed out to any other position. Everyone knows where his best position is, and he's going to be utilized in that place. This guy is generational talent. I do feel like he's getting a bit too much attention for the age that he is, and he's literally been under contract at Chelsea. He's been there for such a long time. I don't feel like he's in a place right now where people are trying to make him feel
George, watch this. Sorry to cut you off, but if you notice, the majority of the talk in terms of his ability, from what I'm seeing, is coming from Liverpool fans. They're talking up this brother into some wishful thinking. This is the thing. It's really Liverpool fans. They're doing this to themselves, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of them, they're talking themselves into this delirium. Oh, we're going to sign the player. So any little thing that happens is like, yeah, look, he wants to go Liverpool, bro. If he smiles at the word Liverpool, look, he's spoken to Jurgen Klopp. He's got an agreed. You know how it gets stupid? Do you know what I mean? Like, so look, really and truly, Chelsea, for me, the way I see it is they're in control at the minute. Levi Colwill, for me, is a very, very talented player. He could become a special centre-back. Once again, he's very young. We still have to wait and see, but he's definitely got the tools to get there, and Chelsea would be stupid to let him go. And for the pure fact that we've lost a few English players as well, we need to meet English quotas still. We're no different to any other club, so we need to be keeping one or two of our English stars. So I highly doubt we're going to let him go.
I think this situation reminds me of the fact that Chelsea are a club where players view Chelsea as a ever so revolving door. So if he sees an opportunity where he's going to play, I don't doubt in my mind that the player is going to want to stay at Chelsea, where he grew up, where he played majority of his academy football. But he's of an age where he needs to start looking at his next step of his development, playing football a lot. Chelsea don't offer him that pathway to play as much football. You're only playing one time a week, no European football this season. Is it better for you to leave, or is it better?
Watch this, because
as Arsenal was with Saliba last year, when Saliba pretty much said, "Look, I either need to play first team football or I'm leaving," and then they saw they gave him a chance. It is, but it also isn't, because Saliba went to Marseille. He proved that he could have been. He's literally one of the best young centre backs in world football, and it was either Arsenal play me now, or you sell me to another big club that's going to use him.
The reason why is
and now you reap the rewards of it. But Chelsea are in the position now where they either have to sell Colwill, where he's going to get game time at another big club, or they have to use him.
He's going to get it at Chelsea. This is what I'm saying. He'll get that game time at Chelsea.
But this is my question.
Think he will, man.
I agree with George making the comparison, but he's only played 17 first team football games at the Premier League level. Saliba played 2 or 3 basically full seasons in France before he got a chance to play first team football at Arsenal. Is it a situation where you guys will have the patience to play a Levi Colwill? Or is it a
100%.
situation where, because we have a similar situation with Balogun, the player, if they don't see a direct way to develop and continue to kick on their career for their own interest, they might be
facts.
better to leave.
Let me say this: Levi Colwill's pathway is very similar to what Reece James went through, right? Now, the reason why I like to compare those two players, yes, they play in two different positions, but in terms of ability, I truly believe Colwill is in that same category as what Reece James was at that age. He is a special player, in my opinion. Reece James absolutely spanked it at Wigan, came into the first team. No Premier League experience before that, came into the first team. With some players, you've got to put the faith in there, regardless of if they got Premier League or even any experience in the outer top league. Some of those players, you've got to look at them and accept, right, this guy's a bit of an exception to the rule. So we're going to try him out in the first team. This is what happened with Reece James. And look, if we're being honest, all of us, he took to it like a duck to water. But the only problem he's had really is his injuries. Levi Colwill is in that same category. And when you look at the competition that he's got there now, remember, Koulibaly's been sold as well. He's out the door. Trevor Chalobah doesn't have a certain, he hasn't got a future at Chelsea. Do you know what I mean? We might still sell him, so we are going to need him. Badiashile really is going to be that guy that's going to be the competition. Very, very good centre back. But this just goes to show of how much highly I rate Levi Colwill. I actually think he's a better player than him, which is why I'm saying it's a no-brainer that this guy is going to come in and get his chances.
You know,
Let me ask you a question though. The thing is for me though, this comment here is a good comment now. Young players now are less receptive to having just like ordinary game time now. When they look at players like Fofana, who's similar age, I think maybe 2 years older than him, he's thinking, I'm better than Fofana. This is what they're thinking right now because they proved it at Brighton, where I think the level of football is of a similar level to Chelsea. When you look at it, they came to your ground and outbossed you guys for 90 minutes and won at your ground. I think now he's looking at the position and thinking, right, am I going to get enough game time for me to make it worthwhile for the whole year? Because you know what happens at Chelsea? Once it gets toxic, you might revert back to type. You might get the experienced players in there, and then Thiago starts, and all of a sudden, the younger players get pushed out a little bit. That's the key question that Colwill has to ask himself. Is it going to be enough for him to develop at that stage? Because 20 years old, yes, it's young. Between 20 and 23, though, you need to then develop into that mature player that you're going to be now.
But who's the competition that's there for him that can consistently put him out of the team? Do you know what I mean? Because if we're looking at profile, because this matters so much, me personally, it doesn't make a difference. He's left-footed, so a lot of people like to see him in that left centre-back position. I think either or, right centre-back, left centre-back, it doesn't matter what foot you are, as long as you're good, you play there. But left centre-back position, for the sake of argument, Badiashile and Colwill. So there is two. So there's either him or him. Do you know what I mean? So it's really up to him at that point. Listen, of course, in top flight football, you cannot guarantee that you're going to be starting games unless you're an elite talent.
100%.
But now you've pushed him to the point where we've done all we can do for you. Now it's up to you to outperform Badiashile and claim that place. That is the question.
And he's injured as well. He's injured as well in it,
Badiashile. Exactly. So he's got an opportunity to have a run of games and keep him out of the squad.
Yeah. But again, like I said to you, it's one of them. Liverpool come calling Igal, and they offer you a better kind of, because they're looking at Van Dijk thinking, right, he's got one more season left. You could be that basically the next Van Dijk. I'm not saying he's the next Van Dijk, but the one heir to the throne, if you know what I mean. Like, you know what I mean? He's going to be the next guy there. Or Badiashile, there, and you know what I mean? It goes on and on and on.
This is the only reason why he would leave, in my opinion. If Chelsea cannot guarantee him the level of game time that he would need to develop, and if you're saying that he's going to be given the keys in a couple of years' time, he might not be looking down the road. If Liverpool are offering him playing Champions League football, playing many competitions, and he's going to be seeing as much rotation as they did last year because of all the injuries, a lot more first-team football, even though he might be given a backup role to start in his time at Liverpool, they've invested this money into him. They have more of an incentive to play him than Chelsea do.
Yeah, that's true.
I do just think, though, that the thing is, the problem with signing Levi Colwill is the price that Chelsea are trying to quote. They want world record fees for a defender. to sign for any team to sign on. I heard if
He's
Liverpool
got
do
2 years
want him,
left
they're
on his
talking
contract, though, to be fair to him.
Plus
2
one,
years
They
left on
are
his
plus
contract.
one option to extend. So basically 3
$50
years.
million is a record.
3
Though.
years.
So they are looking at potentially signing a player like Agal said, which we all think that he's got a great ability, but he's not proven. He's only had about 20 league games of experience, and they're
It's a leap of faith, yeah.
78 odd million, and that is a massive leap of faith for any team to take. In a player so young with such that much experience. It's a big gamble, and I don't really think it's worth it at this moment in time. I think the best move for him and for everyone is just to leave him at Chelsea, let him see how he does this season under a really good manager, under a manager that's great at
Yep.
developing talent, English
Developing,
talent better
yep.
than any, and he's going to be playing defensive football. So ball playing
Look at
attacking
it this way,
football.
though.
So it'll be
Just-
perfect for him to continue to grow.
If he stays at Chelsea, come January, he doesn't get a lot of game time. You move him on then. For Chelsea, from the Chelsea side of things, they don't really care as long as they keep the player. In the long run, they're happy. He's not going to take another loan. I'm hearing. So if you're going to sell him right now, put a buyback clause, and in a year's time or 2 years' time, when he's amazing, you can buy him back for a decent price.
Liverpool are not going to do that, though. Liverpool are going to want a straight
No,
sale.
Is it
No,
really
yeah,
true?
facts.
What about Brighton?
Yeah, they're going to want.
Brighton was
And
still a
Right, that's what I'm saying. Brighton makes sense. That's what I'm saying. Brighton probably the one that makes sense. You
And
know what I mean?
Igor,
If you look at it,
Sorry,
I'm not-
Igor, when you look at it, really, I think the proof is really in the pudding where, we've just spoken about his price tag. Obviously, Chelsea know that that's not what he's worth right now, but that's an indication that we don't want the player going. Sometimes a price tag is put there to put off other teams, and I think is very much the case with Colwill.
yeah, 100%. I think for me, though, what you have, though, got a manager in Pochettino, again, like Jordan said, like he develops the youth players, he gives youth players a chance. But also, Pochettino knows it's a ruthless game. This game, man. This Chelsea job it ain't Tottenham. You can't just experiment at Chelsea because these Chelsea fans, yeah, Levi Colwill, he's got to start. Next thing you know, I'm hearing those spaces. Now this is real, man. I'm hearing those spaces. Yeah, you know what? He's not ready. I told you all, you lot. No. So, guys, there has to be a medium. You want to keep him, and you want him to start, but then when it gets sticky and you have a little bit of a dip in form, you guys are the most, you know what it is.
Look
man.
at Conor
Chelsea fan
Gallagher.
base- Well, there you go.
Gallagher.
Conor
6
Gallagher,
months,
yeah,
he wants
exactly.
it done.
But
there you
with Gallagher, and listen, I'm going to speak for myself personally. Obviously, I can't speak for an
Facts, yeah,
entire fan
absolutely.
base, but I'm a man that's been given chances, and once you've exhausted those chances, there's not really any turning back for me. Mason Mount is a prime example. For me, I defended him even during times of bad form. I still defended him. I gave him time due to his age. I said youth does not always breed consistency. There is inconsistency in youth. It's part of the learning. It's part of the pattern of development. So it happens. But once that form starts to dip and then, nothing good comes of it later on, I'm out of it. I'm sorry. I've given you enough chances. With Colwill, it's the same thing. I know this guy's going to have a run of good games, and there's going to be a time where he's going to either look average or potentially even be in a bad run of form, make 1 or 2 mistakes. Name me a centre back that hasn't made mistakes in this game. Do you know what I mean? So for me, I'm going to be patient with him unless there are blatant red flags that are going to be too obvious to ignore. That's when you start to question things. But for me, I do like to give a span of patience, especially with the young players, because young players are never the finished article, as you lot know.
Can I tell you something?
There you go.
Chelsea fans might be more invested in his success than Chelsea Football Club.
I don't disagree with you, There's a portion of the fan base that definitely will be. Once again, case in point, we saw that with Mason Mount. Even some other players like Kai Havertz and so on and so forth to a lesser extent. But definitely more so with the Mason Mount situation. The reason why I wanted him gone is because of how divisive he became in the fan base. Now, a lot of that was not in his control at that particular time. After the transfer happened, yes, he did things to definitely antagonize the Mason Mount lovers in the Chelsea fan base. I completely get that. But it is what it is. It's football at the end of the day, man. There's no loyalty in the game like that no more. Once you see, it's about taking your opportunities where you can get them. If you're not going to get them at your club, you're going to have to go and get them elsewhere. And that was the case for him. So it is what it is. It's just the game, isn't it?
Absolutely. Guys, it's over 900 in the building. We're not even hit 200 likes. I don't know what you lot are doing, man. Smash the like button, people. It's bottom right hand corner. It costs you nothing. You know what I mean? Support the channel, people, man. So hit the like button. But you know, again, like I said to you, it's one of them things in football, isn't it, George, where you kind of like, you see these young players and you think, rah, we're not going to get another big one like this, give him what he wants. But at the same time, like, you know what I mean? There's some young players now who, like Callum Hudson-Odoi, been given a lot and haven't really produced, though. So there's a fine balance in football. I'm not saying Colwill is got the trajectory that once thing he had, but listen, they were saying that he was the best talent to come out through Cobham. You know what I mean? So where's that fine balance for you, man, in terms of giving a lot to these young players?
For me, I do think Colwill is one of the players that probably deserves to be given a lot. I do think that he is a player that's just, you can tell the talent. Chelsea understood the talent before he even went out to Brighton, and he was so highly touted before he even played a Premier League game. People knew the level of
Breaking
ability
news.
he had. Go on. Go for the breaking news.
Breaking news, man. Breaking news regarding your club, man. Harry Kane, man. Bayern Munich are coming in for your player, bro. Big up Plettenberg. He's a very, very reliable journalist, man, in the German Bundesliga. Exclusive Kane. Understand FC Bayern have submitted a second bid offer now. New offer, 80 million euros plus add-ons. First offer was 70 million plus add-ons, was rejected. Harry Kane, he definitely wants to join FC Bayern now. Damn,
This
man. That
is absolute rubbish. With regards to not the news I'm talking about, I mean just an absolute rubbish bid from
yeah,
Wait.
it is a
And
rubbish
for
bid.
me, it's really not. It's not them being serious at all. They don't really care about getting the player enough. They clearly don't want him enough because they know Tottenham and they know Tottenham don't play when we talk business. You saw what happened with Man City a couple years ago. They'll say we bid 100. We said we wanted 120. If you don't give us the numbers that Levy quotes, you're never gonna get us to give you a player, whether Kane wants to leave or not. People think that because he's got 1 year left on his contract, that Kane's in the the position of power. He's not. He really isn't. Tottenham will take him into this last year and take the risk. I'm 100% sure. I'm not saying it's a good idea or not, but I know Daniel Levy's going to. And if Bayern really wanted him, they're going to put up the 100 million euros that they want plus add-ons. The bids that they're doing right now aren't serious. And for me, they're just doing it to try and unsettle things to see if Kane is going to be brave enough to do another transfer request, which he's done already.
Absolutely.
They know he will not do that again. He's not brave enough. He just won't.
I need to come to the bottom of this. How much money do you think Harry Kane's worth in today's market?
100 million for me. 100 million.
Seeing that Declan Rice just went for 105 million with 1 year left in his contract. Forget age.
Yeah.
Forget age. We know ability. Lewandowski was banging 35 goals at age 35 in that league. So the league is of a level way below. If Bayern Munich really wanted him and they want to go win that Champions League next season, pay the 100 million pounds plus add-ons and get your player.
Yeah.
They don't want it.
So 100 million plus add-ons. How much add-ons we talking?
It'd probably be about 10 or 15 million in add-ons, depending on like Champions League winning, a lot of trophies. He hasn't won a trophy, so he needs all them trophy add-ons, and we're gonna be eating off of that.
Yeah, exactly.
Bayern
That's
needs
a
to
good
spend
incentive, by the way.
120 million for Harry Kane with 1 year remaining.
That's the thing.
That's mad.
That's the thing.
But you
And
paid
remember,
105 million for Declan Rice with.
but watch this as well, George. Remember, Bayern Munich's record transfer fee is only 80 million euros, bro.
But they don't care though. They don't care though.
I think they do. I think they do.
You see why they don't? You see why they don't? This is a player that is a world class there. Everyone can agree is world class. If you look at the striker market right now, we're bidding for Højlund, who's had 9 goals last year and is worth about 50 million. So you're telling me that Harry Kane is only 30 million more, and you know he's world class and he's proven, and he can give you something for the next 3 or 4 years. The market right now reflects the price tag. That's the way I kind of look at it. If there was an abundance of world class strikers, hold on a minute, one last point. If there was an abundance of world class strikers, I don't think for me Harry Kane is off that price. I think you're looking at 80 million. But
100%.
because of the scarcity of actual strikers, for me, it sounds about right. You go get another player then. Go spend 100 million and call him Moani. Go on then.
No, he's not getting you nothing.
Let me respond. I agree with Saeed to a certain degree. There is a shortage of top level strikers.
Yes.
But Bayern Munich do not necessarily need to spend 120 million on Harry Kane to win the league next season or to win the Champions League. what they could do is they could spend that money on Victor Osimhen, and I think he would be much more better value
Bro,
for
it's gonna
money.
cost you 160.
You know,
You know how much
do you know,
cost
let's
it
be
He's
costs?
real,
gonna
Gal.
cost 160. He has 2 years left.
Gal. This is what you need to get. Again,
Am I
Napoli's
tripping?
president is worse than Daniel Levy.
Yeah, the
He will
Laurentiis
not
don't
drop
play.
his price.
Yeah, don't
He
play
is
around,
known
man.
for playing games, and if he says 160, he's not going nowhere lower. And the thing is,
No.
look, let's look at it like this, yeah.
Oh, Osimhen,
Thomas Tuchel. No, we always made the argument about every other manager. Thomas Tuchel wants Kane. He said Kane is his man. He's been tapping up Kane for a couple months, talking to him, going to his house, telling him about how he wants him. So if Bayern Munich's manager, they brought this guy in mid-season when Nagelsmann wasn't doing that bad. If he's the man he wants, give him the man he wants and pay the money
I
that's
don't think the
needed.
manager matters at Bayern Munich. Really and truly, they could sack him tomorrow and Kane will still be there if he comes. I don't think you go to Bayern Munich for the manager. You go to Bayern Munich because you're going to Bayern Munich. And I think another big factor is if he could stay in the Premier League, he would prefer to stay in the Premier League. No Premier League club is coming in for him and spending that type of money. But if
We
you
know
have,
that no,
if you have
it's
a
the lack
choice,
of option.
if you have a choice and you're Bayern Munich and you can get anyone you want in world football, I would rather go for the 24-year-old Victor Osimhen than spend 120 million on Harry Kane. I'd rather take that 120 million, go to Napoli, test the waters there.
I hear you on a point.
Over
I hear
Harry
you on a point. I hear you. But the thing is, for me though, Napoli won at least 150 million euros for Osimhen. That's clear. They've said it. Like if you want him, you're gonna have to pay that amount. The next best thing, and it's not even the next best thing. He's probably in terms of like striking ability, he's probably better than Osimhen in terms of world class level and maybe proving it over a longer stage. I think for me, I would rather go with Osimhen. But I'm talking about you know world class level. Kane is levels, isn't it? You know what I mean? Let's be
He's
real.
He's way better than Osimhen.
You know what I mean? Let's be real. Exactly. You know what I mean? Let's
Take
be
into
real. But
consideration as well, yeah. Kane is literally only just turning 30. If he did stay at Bayern for 2 years, they could then sell him on at 32 or 100% to another Premier League club for a good 50 odd million. You think they ain't gonna get 50 million for
Easy.
Kane at 50 years old? It's an investment.
Easy.
It's not like they're gonna spend 120 million and he's gonna be worth 20 in 2-3 years. He's still gonna be worth 50, 60 million at age 32. He's still gonna be a top striker and he's still gonna be able to score 15, 20 goals, which less than 5% of Premier League strikers can score. There's like 4 or 5 players in the Premier League that can score 15 plus
No,
Premier
but
League goals.
nobody's questioning Harry Kane's value.
I'm saying the value comes with the ability, and you need to pay that for the ability that he's going to bring.
I think you guys are saying basically you're overpricing Harry Kane, so no one meets the valuation. Really and truly, let's be honest. Everyone here, which football club in world football is going to pay 120 million for a 30-year-old striker?
No, the add-on, that's an add-on. 100 million up front. 100 million up front. Obviously, the add-ons are whether he wins trophies and whether appearance.
I tell you
saying
this
100 million
right
flat.
now. If the move could happen, Chelsea would do it. But it's just
I
the
think United would
principle
do
it
it.
wouldn't happen. Yeah, but it's just the principles, obviously, between the two clubs.
We won't negotiate with Chelsea.
That's what I'm saying. But if that stigma wasn't there, I reckon Chelsea would do it 100%.
Yeah, 100%.
I think there's
like
a
I
better
said to you,
chance he goes on a free than he goes to Bayern Munich.
I'd definitely be worried about the free market next year with Chelsea lurking, and mainly because Pochettino. I think that's the main issue. He could easily poach Kane, being another London club, wanting to stay local. Chelsea, it could be a thing, but until then, it's not something that I would ever be worried about.
Yeah, 100%. Like, you know, it's just again, like I said to you guys, it's one of them where, you know, I mean, big up to you. Says club, Igal, your club played 105 million for Rice.
You have
Again,
to
he would argue he's younger, more. You know what I mean? Like he's got a trajectory that's higher and higher, but. Like I said, man, if Bayern want to get, they have to. I think this is negotiation tactics. 80, then we go to 85. But I think Daniel Levy is going to come up with the same answer. Low means low. You know what I mean? And unless, like John says, Harry Kane says, right, we take you. I want to leave. I'm putting up a transfer request in. I'm not training. And it comes bad for the environment, and then you're not helping Postecoglou here because he's like, listen, man, I don't want to be doing this. Like, selling, man, I don't want this kind of environment in my camp. But I don't think he's got the bravery to do that. I don't think he has, man. He's a Tottenham legend right now. He's just got a mural. Has he not got a mural on in Tottenham, like a mosaic or something like that? I'm sure they have.
I haven't seen that. George,
yeah, I'm sure they have. Where I think Babs will say something. There's a mural or something that they have. So. I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on, but I think for me, ultimately,
his club legacy. That's what you're saying, right?
Exactly. Yeah. He wouldn't want to rule his legacy for me.
I don't think Levi would give a shit. I honestly don't. He comes across to me as that kind of
Okay.
owner where it's his way or no way, and I really don't think he'd give a shit if it come down to it.
I think
Yeah.
if we can all agree here that if he signs a contract, he's doing a Zaha, and that would be silly. Like I don't see him signing the contract. He's gonna probably leave on a free. But Bayern Munich, I don't think they have a price, and I don't think they go over it.
Yeah, I agree. They're gonna walk away from this deal 100%. I think I can see it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Overpaying. Everyone keeps talking about Declan Rice. Say just to let people know, I don't think Declan Rice is worth 150 mil, but 105 mil.
105.
Let's be honest,
Yeah.
Enzo's not worth 120. All these players are not worth the prices they're going for. The 90 million is the new 60 million. The prices in football have just gone crazy. Anthony's not worth 180.
Yeah.
Admit that.
Yeah, 100%. You're right. You know, that is where football is going. You know what I mean? And a big up to Taron T says, I'm an Arsenal fan, so good he immediately hit the like, big up Mandem. Guys, 1.2K there. This is a new show every Sunday called Super Sunday. So you guys, if you want this show to happen again next week, hit the like button. Someone's asking where's Roms. Roms won't be here this week, but he'll be here next week. So big up to Roms each and every time, man. But that's where football's going now. You know what I mean? Look at Hoyland. All of a sudden, 50 million after one season. Football's going that way now.
Do you rate
And
Hoyland?
obviously, sorry?
Do you rate Hoyland?
Not enough for me to pay this amount. I think it's worth about 35 million, 40 million. They want around 50 million euros. So it's one of them where I get it. It's a potential, but I kind of want now. I want to see nows. Why isn't there players like that are 25 plus that are already experienced and you can go and get? Have you noticed there's not many around, you know? Like
There's
if you look
not,
at
no.
in Europe right now, if you look at it, like there used to be players when they reach 25, they're ready now and you can go and put a bid in. There's not. Also, I link with Teremi, man. Teremi, come on, man. Like I know he's a decent, but bro, like I just it's crazy. Like it's either it's too to the point where they're 30 plus or they're too young. You know what I mean? So it's
We
one of
just
them.
got
Like
Declan
Jackson,
Rice, who's ready at 25 or whatever.
but the thing is, so I know you're gonna get value out of him. I know you're gonna get value. I know Declan Rice will be a success at Arsenal. Okay, the price tag is a price tag, but I know he's gonna be a success. You know what I mean? Like I just don't know where this like Richarlison's 25, but he plays like he's 21, like he's some sort of youngster. You know what I mean? Like I'm not trying to put shade on him, but it's not like you don't think he's gonna be ready though. And that's where I'm like, the transfer market is bugging, man.
I
It's like
mean, I feel like it does depend. Like you say, there's the up and downs. I feel like the best thing you can do is like what Arsenal done, and like I feel like what we've done as well. And a few teams are doing now is just buy ready players from the Premier League that are already playing here, pay the premium price. Sometimes for the English players, like we've done with Madison, you just get a ready player which you know what to expect. Like Arsenal done with Rice. It's just the easiest way to go about a lot of these transfers, because the problem is especially with our clubs, we're always trying to be tricky. We're always trying to go out here, get a player from another league he's looked all right over there, don't really know whether it's going to go too well when he comes to league, and then sometimes they fail to adapt, or they take 2-3 years to adapt, and it just slows us down. And unless you get the right managers to come in, it just gone.
There's no sure things in football. Like, let's be honest.
Exactly.
And when we spend the type of money we spend on big players, is because we know they're more or less likely going to bang. Enzo, you know he's gonna bang. What do you call it? Declan Rice, you know he's gonna bang. When you spend this kind of money on Harry Kane, you know he's gonna bang. That's why you're spending that type of money. But guess what? 50 million is the new 25
Casemiro as well. 60 million, you know he's gonna bang.
Of course. But but nowadays, when you spend 50 million, it's on potential. Crazy to think you're spending 50 million on potential.
Yeah.
That's what we have to do nowadays.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of just Harry Kane and whatnot, there's reports of Jadon Sancho might be involved in a kind of not swap deal, but in terms of money plus a deal. Do you rate Sancho like that in terms of would you bring him if there was money involved as well, George? To be honest.
I wouldn't involve him in a deal with Harry Kane. I wouldn't mind actually getting a separate deal for Jadon Sancho. I'm not gonna lie. If they're for the right money, I actually like Jadon Sancho. I do think he's had some struggles at Man United, and for me, that's mainly due to the culture that he came into Man United. The way it was with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, the young players, with Ronaldo, is a very different culture to the way it is now with Ten Hag. And he's failed to adapt to that. I feel like for me, he needs to come out of that environment, come into somewhere new, and maybe he can become a new man, new self, new manager, maybe come down to London, come to Tottenham, come to the Tottenham Hotspur away, and things can be good. You get what I mean? Like for me, I like what he brings to the game. I feel like playing in the half space with a quick 1-2 touch with the fullbacks that we have, the inverted ones as well. I think he could work on the right side. He'd have to be an understudy or he'd have to work with Kulusevski, swapping in and out. But if we're talking about 40 odd million, for me, it would be a deal that I would look into. But personally, I just don't think Tottenham would go over there because, again, it's going to be quite a heavy investment for a player that hasn't proved in the Premier League that he can score a lot of goals. And you have players like Harvey Barnes at Leicester that's available, who's ready, proven, and will score you at goals at a way higher level than Jadon Sancho is at this moment in time. So yeah, I don't think it's a move that we would do.
Yeah. Nah, I hear it. Big up Big Ben says, big up Said in the panel, big up Goonie. You know what it is though? I get it, but at the same time, I think with Sancho, I think he just needs maybe a new chapter, man. I know United one more year. I'm expecting a lot. I'll be lying if I said I was expecting him to bang and Jadon Sancho's going to be back and watch out. I'm not one of these fans in it. Like he has to show me what's going on. But new lease of life, Gal, do you see it working? Maybe London life closer to kind of where his family is and whatnot, and maybe a little bit more pressure. Not that I'm saying Tottenham are not that club that demand pressure, but I'm just saying where he could have settled down a little bit better than a club like Man United, where the whole world is looking at him every single week.
I think this is, first of all, I think this rumor is coming from Man United side of things. Nowhere near. I don't think Tottenham are saying they openly want Jadon Sancho. And Jadon Sancho going to Tottenham, I think we have to look at the team. Where is he going to get into that team? I think Kulusevski has shown that he's playing at a more consistent level than him. Son, even though he's not playing well, he has shown a higher level than him in the past. And where would he get into that team? I think he would find himself in a worse situation at Tottenham for game time than he would at Manchester United. And that's just me rating Tottenham's attackers a little bit more than Manchester United's attackers. So I don't think Tottenham's a good place for him to go. I think the best place for him to go is to go back to Germany and play at Dortmund again. But I don't know if they would be able to afford him. So maybe he'll have to go on loan. And I don't know if Manchester United would loan him away.
Big up Smokey Set. He says, Goonie, man, he's on to you, man. He said, Goonie, you've got some sick ideas and panels on some of your streams. You need to pattern up the stream, I think. Otherwise, man's never going to get to enjoy, man. Your fair play, man. Some honest criticism right there, man. So maybe you take it on board. What are you saying?
I just need to get back on it in general, bruv. You get me?
Yeah,
so,
man.
Yeah. It is what it is. I appreciate it, though, but I realize that. Trust
I appreciate
me, I
it.
need to get back on it. Smoky settings, though.
Smokey, yeah. Smokey's a real one, to be fair, man. He tells it to your face. But this comment here, it says here, big up to Gus the Red Devils, man. We always want opinions on the channel. Say stop, bro. Why would you sell him? That doesn't make sense. We need a big squad. Do you know how many wingers we've got? We've got Palestri, we've got Anthony, we've got Diallo, we've got Garnacho, we've got Rashford. Bro, we've got a lot of wingers, man. And listen, I'm saying to you right now, if a good offer came through, we have to look at it. It's got to that stage where, because 2 years, he's not been great. You know what I mean? So I have to be open and honest to myself. But also, if it's a deal that includes Harry Kane, bro, I'm taking that all day long. I'm sorry. I am. If that's a deal that gets Harry Kane to us, and we've got the level of wingers that we've got, I'm putting him in a deal. That's no disrespect to Sancho. I wish him all the best. I want him to do well. I know what sort of player he is, but if something doesn't work at your club, you can't just keep trying it every single time. You can't.
He's going to be top than Pepe. Let's be honest.
The thing, I hear that in terms of he got numbers and whatnot, but how many goals did Pepe get in the Europa League and that? Like, what's going on? Where did he get the goals from and that?
All I know is you've seen the comparison that I've seen, and it's like double.
I mean, like, are we really trying to do this? Like, goals in the Europa League and that? Like, he got most of his goal in the Europa League? Like, come on, man. Let's be real, man.
Even though they're both
Where's he playing now? Is he first team or is he?
He's back at Arsenal from loan.
Oh, okay.
He's still going out on loans.
No,
he's what I'm saying to you, like, what's going on?
He went on one loan. What are we talking about?
Bro,
where is he now? Is he coming back to Arsenal or is he still out on loan?
No. He's coming back to Arsenal, but I'm not gonna lie. I want to get rid of him too. This is what I mean. We're gonna both have trouble trying to get rid of these players because we spend so much money on them. Yeah. We gave them so much wages.
But let's be honest though, Sancho's about confidence though. So if you're looking at player for player though, Sancho is a better player than Pepe. But I think Pepe now is kind of maxed out at Nice City. That's his level. I think, you know, I mean, let's be real.
I do
think
think they're
Sancho
different
had
types of
higher
wingers.
expectations. Yeah.
Yeah, I do think they're very different types of wingers, but Sancho does definitely bring
Exactly.
more to the game, and he actually improves the players around him rather than Pepe's just, one man for himself, take on 5-6 man every time, has to duppy one and then take him back like every time.
No, but
Street
you know
football.
what? I'm not giving Pepe a chance if somebody in the comment section are asking, but are you guys giving Sancho another chance? Because I think Sancho has done way worse with much more talent and much more.
You know why? You know what it is though. I feel like for me, maybe this isn't just his club, but in terms of right now, Liverpool would come in for Sancho. I think Tottenham would. I think even certain clubs will still come in for Sancho, but would anyone come in for Pepe? That's a difference in it. You feel me? Like because they
Nobody in
see
world football are coming in for him.
nobody. Well, come on, exactly. That's what I'm trying to say to you. So that why are we bringing this conversation in terms of flop when reality Sancho still can be saved? I feel like for me, there's a player in there. It's not happened at Man United. Nobody can deny Sancho is a baller.
Sancho's issues, from what I hear, are off the field rather than on it. He's got a lot going on. Do you know what I mean? And obviously, it's nothing to laugh at. So, like, whatever it is that he's going through off the pitch, regardless of what team you play for, if you're suffering, I don't want to hear anyone suffering in it. So, I think it's more of the case of Jadon Sancho trying to get over those issues before getting back to his best, if we're being honest.
Yeah, absolutely. Big up Shams. He says the striker market absolutely stinks. All elite and great players are wingers and midfielders. Back then, it was Suarez, Costa, Kane, Ibra, Aguero, etc., etc. Yeah, listen, I do. I think it's a dying breed. You know what I mean? I
I don't
think it's
think it's
one of
just a
them where
striker market. I do actually think just it'd be easy to say just the level of footballers drop, because when you look at the top level, I'd say the
facts.
elite level, like it's very hard to point out like 5 players in every position where they're pure standouts. I was seeing the ESPN list the other day for like the top 10 defenders, all the different positions. I was seeing some crazy names in the top 5, like Kieran Trippier and stuff, and some names. And I was thinking, if this is the level of football that we're at now, then it has fallen off so bad. And the strikers, it's a joke. They're all 30 plus. It's literally Kane, Levi, Benzema. These players that have been doing it for the past 10, 15 years. It's nuts.
No, but players have gotten better. It's just, I think the fact of nostalgia and creativity has gone down. So before we would see a lot more creativity from the players, like Ronaldinho and everything else. But now you see more analytic-based footballers where people are just instead of getting it in the box, they just pass it to your left back, pass it back, more passing, and it's more or less. It's not as exciting. You don't see as much moments where he grabs the game. Messi. You don't see that no more. You don't see the Messi runs. It's crazy, man.
You see Haaland, who's a freak of nature, but he scores goals, and you know what it is? It's fair enough. This is what football is becoming a bit more machine. It's becoming now. Teams want to press more. Teams want to. You know what I mean? The actual idea of kind of just the Neymars of this world where they enjoy football, that side of it is going. And that's why for me, you've got to protect these guys, man, who want to play football, man, and want to enjoy playing football. You've got to protect these guys, man. Because if you don't, you know what I mean, you're gonna get a robotic kind of feel of football. You are.
I agree.
That's just the reality, But before you go, because I know George, you got to go in a bit, but Tottenham, are you excited by what he's doing over there in terms of just in general? You know what I mean? What are you saying, like Postecoglou, man? I'm seeing Q&As, man, for Postecoglou, man. Fans asking him questions and that. Yo, man, I'm watching your club, man. They're doing things right, man.
Big Ange, man. Big Ange. That's what we call him nowadays. I'm looking forward to it. I can't lie. At the start of when everything first came in, Conte was gone, new manager, and now Postecoglou come in. I was a bit pessimistic. I wasn't too optimistic for what was going on. I didn't really have too much high hopes for the season. But with the smart moves we're doing in the transfer window, we're moving to a bit more of a data-based football like everyone else has. And our transfer window has sort of reflected that in the buys that we're going for. I think we're being a bit more smarter in the window. I do want to see us still be more ambitious. We're seeing all our all our title rivals spend all this big money, 100 million, all of this, and Tottenham just never do it. It's pissing me off, but it is what we like. We are going to have some good players. Hopefully the centre backs come in, and I'm really looking forward to it. I can't lie, I do think we can do some big things. Top 4 could be on the cards, but I don't want to say it too soon because again, we still need to see Harry Kane in this team. We still need to see a few more signings, but things are looking good. Tapsoba, Van de Ven, once that's confirmed, the team.
Are they coming? Yeah, they definitely coming. Them two.
one of the two. Apparently, I would like to see both of them. We are in need of two centre backs, and both left-sided would be perfect. But if we only get one of them, I'd be happy with either. Van der Ven's a bit younger, a bit more less inexperienced, but Tapsoba, that's a
Very
player that I can get behind as well.
He's
Someone
a
that
good
will come in,
Yeah.
very good, very aggressive, similar to Romero, but I think it's what we need. We're going to be playing some new football. You're going to see some champagne football back in North London, and hopefully
North London rising, man. Back to
we're
the
coming back.
proper
Hopefully,
North
innit?
London.
Hopefully next week when we're back and we're having this conversation, we're going to be talking about some new Spurs signings. So let's see.
Last one before you go. You got a super chat here, George. If you had to choose one, Mickey or Edmund, who are you choosing and why?
For me, I'm going for Van der Ven. I do think Tapsoba is a bit more proven at the moment, but just the way that we play and the way that he is a bit more reserved. We have Romero. You know what Tapsoba is like and Romero. They're very similar archetypes, and they're both the aggressors in defense. If we have two players like that, we ain't going to have a sweeper. So I think if Van der Ven comes in, he can sweep. He can also play. He's a bit more versatile. He play on the left side. And he's tall and fast. Right now in the Premier League, there is nothing you can get better than is a tall and fast defender. You see, Dan Burn over in Newcastle. He's doing his thing on that left side, man. I'm telling you, that's what's in right now. So if you can bring me a player like him, I think Van der Ven's very similar. And he's at a cheaper fee, 25 million. So it can allow us to go and invest that elsewhere if we can get a better player. So yeah, for me, Van der Ven. But thank you guys. It's been a very good first show.
Man. Big up to you, George. We'll catch up next week, man. Big up to you, bro.
Have a good one.
Come on, man. Big up, bro. Big up. Make sure you follow George, people, man, on his socials. We got super chat here from my guy, United Facts. Love for the super chat. Love to everybody who sent the super chat in. It's all appreciated, man. Says Sancho does not have the power and speed in his game to be effective wide, but doesn't have the press resistant, quick thinking to play congested central areas.
I don't entirely
I disagree with
it.
Yeah, I slightly agree with maybe the pace and power, but I think the quick thinking, he can do the quick thinking. I've seen him do it. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? I think that question there, I understand you. Maybe it's just not worked out in the Premier League. Maybe he suits the Bundesliga, the Spanish style. I don't know. Maybe he does. But at the same time, Liverpool would have been his. When I look at Liverpool now, had Jurgen Klopp got him, I think where they were at that time, Liverpool 2 years ago, they were probably equipped better to where Man United were in terms of as a team. Liverpool were better equipped as a team. You know what I'm saying to you? That's the way I kind of look at it, really, to be honest with you.
I think if he would have gone to another club, they would have tried a lot more to develop him because Manchester United's issue has they haven't developed players.
Yeah, absolutely, exactly. You know what I mean? But big up to everybody watching. I don't know how we're not on 500 likes yet. It's criminal, you know what I'm saying to you. But guys, I'm going to remind you again, we're on 427 likes. Let's get that up, people. We need 70 odd likes away from minimum on this channel, 500 likes on the channel. Let me ask you a question though. Arsenal, man, 1 billion squad now. You know, there's a good feeling around the kind of club now. What's your overall feeling now? What are you looking to go and get? Are you happy with the summer window? Because obviously we've never heard your opinion on the channel before, so let them know, man. What are you saying?
Bro, I'm gassed with the summer window. First, I just want to say the reason why the squad's 1 billion is because we gave all these new contracts out. Look at all the contracts we gave to Saliba, Gabriel, all these young players. Getting new contracts improves the value of them and then allows the squad value to go up by a million, by all these over $1 billion is crazy. And Declan Rice, absolutely amazing signing. I gave that signing like a 10 out of 10. The fact that we were able to get him over, to get him over all these other clubs that wanted him is amazing. And the price, yes, we had to overpay, but if you want a player in today's market, you have to pay the money or else you're not going to get that player. So we had to pay the money. I'm not going to sit here and cry about the price or his wages because I think he deserves it. Kai Havertz is the one that everyone says, what on earth are you doing with Kai Havertz? I think Kai Havertz is going to bang him. I think Kai Havertz is going to do really good. I think the situation.
Greely's face then. Greely's face then is like, are you sure? Are you sure, man?
I think you're underestimating. I think you're underestimating Mikel Arteta's ability to coach a player and to get a guy like Xhaka, who was playing as majority of his career as a midfielder or at least like a 6, to now go and be a box-to-box midfielder or somebody who's like almost a second striker. I think Kai Havertz will be more suited to that role, and it's unpopular opinion, but I think he'll do really well. And I think a lot of people are sleeping on the signing for Kai Havertz. The price, is crazy.
Is that
'cause
where
I-
you're going to use him?
Yeah, we're going to use him as a second striker. In basically, he's going to be
But what system though?
He's going to be in the midfield. It's going to be a midfield three of a 6, which will either be Partey or Declan Rice. Odegaard,
Let me get my squad up.
Odegaard on the right, and Kai Havertz on the left. I think Kai Havertz will be playing in that left midfield. And
Yeah,
and
I'm gonna try and bring the squad up so then we can analyze where this Arsenal team would go. But yeah, go on. Sorry, keep going.
Yeah.
On.
So I'm not saying he's better than Xhaka in every single way. Xhaka is better than him defensively and positionally out of possession to be in the right positions to defend. But when in the attacking end, I think he'll be a lot better. So it'll be a situation where you have goalkeeper Ramsdale, right back.
Yeah.
Right back, I think it will be either Timber or Ben White. But for argument's sake, just put Timber because he's the new signing.
Timber, yeah. I think Timber will displace Ben White, if I'm being honest with you. Yeah, go on.
Zinchenko left back. Actually, if Timber is playing, it won't be Zinchenko. It would be somebody else. But put Zinchenko there.
Yeah, no, it will be Zinchenko. I think for me, he will go Tierney. I think he's been disrespected, man.
If Zinchenko is going to play, it might actually be Ben White. But Saliba and Gabriel in the mid in the center back situation.
Yep.
Saliba and then Gabriel. So Gabriel, the bald picture. There you are. And then Saliba.
Yep.
The 6 is actually going to be Declan Rice. Declan Rice is going to be signed to play as the 6.
Okay, so we're going to have a 6 here. Declan Rice. And then what you putting on the right side of him?
Kai Havertz is going to be there.
Havertz. Okay. See, this is where you're going, yeah?
This is why I asked the question.
Havertz is going to play there. You're going to have a situation where you have Odegaard.
Odegaard?
Yeah. But do me a favor. Put White instead of Timber because it won't be balanced if Timber's there. Because Timber would only play.
Okay.
Timber and Zinchenko, I don't think will be in the same team most games. And then the front three, of course, picks itself. It's Saka on the right, Jesus up top, and Martinelli.
Martinelli.
Now everyone's gonna get upset and they're gonna be like, "Where's Partey? Where's Partey? Where's Partey?"
Well, yeah, you need balance, man. I don't know if that midfield is balanced for me. I don't know what you guys are thinking, yeah. But do you think that midfield is balanced? You know what I mean?
That left side for me is a concern because Zinchenko and Havertz on that left side for me is
exactly.
But the way we're going to be setting up defensively, it's going to be a back 3, and then you're going to have Gabriel, and Ben White. You're going to have Zinchenko almost up to the same level as Declan Rice, so it's going to almost be like they're the double pivot. In front of them, you're going to have the 2 of Havertz and Odegaard. So just imagine that, and then the front 3 stays the same. So it's going to almost be like a 3-2-2-3, the way that we're set up.
Yeah. Obviously, this website doesn't allow me to kind of change it around. I was going to go on a different website, but I don't know if they would be updated in terms of the pictures for the players. Where obviously this website does. But I get what you mean. But like I said to you, if there's one player to do it, it is Arteta because of the way he's kind of created certain formations and created certain opportunities for people that I thought wouldn't be great, like Ben White at right back. You know, this new role that he's found for me.
Do me a favor, Saeed. Take out Havertz because everyone hates Havertz, right?
Hold on, hold on.
That's what you think.
Now you see what I felt would have made more sense here, right? Is if you would replace Havertz with Thomas Partey, or even switch Rice and put him as that left centre mid, and then put Thomas Partey in the middle, and then you've got Odegaard there. Which is why I've always questioned, why did you want to sign Havertz if you're not going to use him as a false 9? So I would have Rice, Partey, and Odegaard, because remember, Rice can also do the number 8 role as well. So if there's no need to have both of you,
got Jorginho as well there. Jorginho,
you can sit back Partey. But then this one's a little bit controversial, but I thought about it. But at times for a bit of a tactical switch up, you see where you've got Jesus, you can have Havertz as that false 9 and still have those wingers outside of him. Because if you remember what Liverpool were doing, right, with the whole Firmino, Salah and Mane, it was those 2 wingers that were coming in as inside forwards, and then obviously Firmino dropping back and sort of getting involved with the play in that final third. And those 2 were seen as the goal scorers. Do you know what I mean? So there's alternatives that you can go with tactically.
I don't think
Yeah.
he views that left eight was not necessarily a player who had to be defensively strong. Xhaka's mobility was never there, and in the attacking end,
Yeah.
he was more used in the attacking end this season. How many times did Xhaka pop up for a goal or an assist in the attacking end this season? It's because that 8 position was used a lot higher up the pitch. Even though Odegaard is the 10, really and truly, he's a creative player. He wasn't really used as the most attacking out of the 3. It was actually Xhaka who's the most attacking player in our midfield 3. And if you guys remember against Man City, who did the ball fall to in the box? It fell to Xhaka. So I do think it's going to be a transition. It's not going to be the exact same, but I trust Mikel Arteta to make it work. And he did play in the midfield at Leverkusen. We need to stop thinking that he's not a midfielder.
Absolutely. Couple of questions on the actual team. First of all, we've got Smokey Setty says here, Saeed, remember Flawless said Man U scouting need to do their job. Suzuki looks better than Heaton. Talk to Flawless next time for me, bro. Yeah, definitely. We're on tonight anyway. So tonight we're live anyway to kind of delve into my United news. So we'll definitely do that. City will cook that midfield. And also, honest opinion, is this 11 challenging Manchester City? First of all, number one, it's a squad that challenges Man City. But I can't lie to you, that balance there on that left-hand side, you know, I mean, for me, it's a good area. I don't know if Havertz will have that power in that midfield that Xhaka would have had, you know what I mean, or let's say someone else, that aggressive nature. Yes, he might be better in terms of going forward, and other than that, maybe a good in terms of passing range and something like that. But I think for me though, in that middle of the park, Declan Rice might get outnumbered in there, man. And that's the situation that I do think for me it could be a concern for you guys. That's why you want to go for Lavia. That's why maybe Lavia would be a good option, and then Havertz rotational in that sense.
I think Lavia doesn't make sense to me because that would mean Partey would be sold for a player who's not up to his level yet.
Yeah. No, but the thing is though, if you want to sell him though, this is the best time to sell him now. Like if you're not going to, there's no better time to sell him now. I don't know why you're selling him. To be honest with you personally, I think you should keep Partey. You know what I mean? If for next season you want Champions League football, or you know what I mean, if there's other reasons why, then obviously that's the other reason why. But for me, you know, keep Partey for one more season and then move him on.
Saeed, we're not
that's
thinking
where you're
about,
going.
We're not thinking about Champions League football. We're thinking about title or bust.
Yeah,
that's me at least.
There you
I don't
go.
know about you guys. I'm looking at Arsenal last season. We got so close. We need to push on and win it this year.
Yeah. What do you think, Igal? No, it's not Igal. Sorry, Goonie. What are you saying about just in the general Arsenal next season? What are you saying? Are they ready? Do you think they're ready? Do you think they're going to be doing bits next season? Looking at the squad now, there's a lot of momentum going on now. You know what I mean? What do they need? What are you saying?
You see, respectfully, for these kind of questions, it's very hard for me to answer because, like, we're at a point where there's still a lot of uncertainty because it's not just about Arsenal, or even if we're talking about Chelsea, it's not just about Chelsea. You have to look at how other teams around them strengthen. Do you know what I mean? Because in the Premier League, as you've seen, teams can improve from one season to another and become a surprise package from one or two signings that are added to the team. So it's difficult to really kind of tell. But in terms of the direction that they're going in terms of the signings that they're making, Declan Rice is definitely a massive intense signing. Jurriën Timber, I don't know too much about, but I've heard good things about him. But the bottom line is here is, and it's not even any kind of disrespect to Arsenal, it's just that Man City, there's so much to do to just catch up to them because I like what you said, Saeed, in terms of, you know, it's not just about the 11 on the pitch to compete with Man City. It's about having a squad that can compete. And I just feel the rest of the teams in the Premier League are a little bit off Manchester City before a sustainable title challenge can be had. Do you know what I mean? Arsenal, let's not get it twisted. They done very well last season in terms of the points tally and where they finished. Nobody expected it, but Manchester City just have that experience and ability to go the extra mile. I mean, even down to the title races with Liverpool, the 1 point difference in between, you know, the Liverpool winning the title, 2 points, between Liverpool winning the title and City. They've got that resilience to push it to that level as well. Do you know what I mean? So there's so many different factors, even outside the pitch, just the mentality of Manchester City. I feel like teams have got a lot to do to catch up to that.
But Arsenal have another level to go to. with
Yeah,
all
100%. But if you're talking about the next season, do I see if you're talking about a jump to, beat Man City next season? I don't think he's there. I think you've still got to develop a lot more depth off the bench before you can do that.
Do you not know who's off our bench now with the new signings that we've made? Because I feel like our squad, we've massively improved the squad depth in the sense of this season. Like if Said brings up that list, you have Trossard who can come in, you have Emil Smith Rowe who can come in. Of course, now you have Partey who's going to be coming off the bench. Most likely, he might not even necessarily be starting in the center back position. You have Timber and Ben White and Tomiyasu who can play in the right and the center backs, plus Kavior, Kieran Tierney, Zinchenko on the left side. We have over 4 quality center halves in the midfield. We're kind of light. That's why I still think we should bring in another midfielder.
Striker as well for me. I'm not sure Eddie Nketiah is the answer.
This is true. Listen, you guys. I'm not denying that. I'm not saying your bench is shit, but then to further emphasize the point, how many of those players have you mentioned are world class? And then look at Manchester City's bench. The fact is those bench players can walk into top teams competing for titles still. This is the level that I'm talking about. I'm not saying that your players are shit. Far from it. I think you've massively upgraded what's your options on the bench. But when you're looking at Manchester City, they can sell these bench players for 80 million and up, some of them. And that's not, and this is the thing, and this is why I say it's a massive exception to the rule. It's not a disrespect to Arsenal, Liverpool, or whoever. This is just what it is.
Don't confuse squad depth with name brands, because what you might be confusing depth with is household names. Just because you don't have household names doesn't mean you don't necessarily have squad depth. You can have squad depth without having household names. You can have players in your team that do a really good job and come off the bench and contribute to helping you win league titles, but not necessarily known in the mainstream by everyone as this amazing player. Look at Manchester City. Nobody thought they've had squad players throughout the years that people looked at. Like this season, they had players pop up out of nowhere, like that little kid, Nico. What's his name? Nico Williams.
No, not Nico Williams. Sorry. Rico Lewis.
Rico Lewis came out of nowhere. Nobody really knew him. No one would have viewed him as an option, even off their bench. But now you know him. These things can happen. I'm just thinking that Arsenal might not necessarily have the household names, the big names. But the reason why they're big names is because City did win year in, year out. And people now know that these guys are doing it. Until you win, you're not going to really rate these players that much. Because when Chelsea won the Champions League, we all know they showed us 2 11s that looked amazing on paper. But it's not necessarily what it always is.
Yeah, absolutely. Quick one before the kind of last topic. David De Gea is obviously leaving Manchester United. I wanted to ask you a question. Where does David De Gea rank in the all-time Premier League goalkeepers? Goonie, would you say he's in the top 10 at least? Top 5? Let me know in the comments below as well. I might even do a poll.
I can't say top 5.
Top 5, no. Okay, top 10. Top 10, is that fair? Top 10? I think he's in the top 10 for me, personally.
How many Premier Leagues did he win?
He won 1 Premier League. But in terms of obviously a keeper, we can say footballers that we've liked in the past. We could look at Steven Gerrard as a prime example. Steven Gerrard won no Premier Leagues. Do we not put him in the top 5 Premier League of all time? Of course we do, because he's a top player. I think he's definitely in the top 10 for me, alongside Cech, alongside, for me, Schmeichel, Van der Sar. Who else is in there? Seaman's not in there.
Let me ask, does he have a better legacy than Alisson or Ederson?
I think Alisson, you know what? Alisson is probably going to be in there. When you look at when he finishes his career, I think Alisson will be probably in there because of what he's done, what he's achieved, what he's still doing now at this rate. It's getting better and better for me. Alisson is ridiculous. Courtois, no, not for me. Lehmann, people saying Seaman. Is Seaman in there? You reckon Seaman is in there?
Yeah.
Seaman in there? We've had this debate before, and we said maybe Seaman isn't quite in there. But I don't know. Let me ask the question. Yes, he did. He did.
So what are we talking about? The guy won a league title in 2 different decades. He should be in there. Actually, 3. He won it in 1990, 1991. He won the first division. Then he won it in 97. Yeah. Then he won it in 2000. He won it in 3 different decades, bro. The guy is a legend.
Ederson's in there.
I just said Edison. I think Edison has. I think in Manchester City alone. I mean, in Manchester, there's 2 goalkeepers that I would say from Manchester City that get in there over him: Joe Hart and what do you call it,
Joe
Edison.
Hart? Nah. Joe Hart's
Hart,
definitely not
Joe
better
Hart gets in there
than
too.
thingy. David De Gea. Definitely
I'm
not
not
Joe
saying
Hart.
I'm not
Definitely
saying
not.
he's better, but he has a shout.
But in the top 10. Top 10 over David De Gea? No chance. No chance. No chance.
I'm trying to
Absolutely no
think.
chance.
I'm even trying to think of names. Yeah, to be fair, top 10 is not a wild shout. To be honest with you,
He
it's
won
not a
2
wild
big
shout.
titles
Yeah.
with City.
Top 5, not for me. I don't think he comes close to top 5. Top 5 for me is that you see the top 5 in the Premier League. I think they're in a different category to the rest of them, in my honest opinion. Like Peter Cech, Peter Schmeichels, and them kind of names there. I feel embarrassed even putting an Edison and them man next to those guys. Do you know what I mean? So this is why I say,
Yeah, true.
you know what I mean. I think there's separate. There's a separation between the top 5 and the top 10.
Put
No
respect
doubt.
to Edison's
Yeah.
name. Edison has what he's accomplished in his career because he's playing for such a great team. He goes up there with some of the greats now.
But would you say, in terms of ability, Edison is close to any one of Schmeichel or Peter Cech from what you've seen?
You could make a case that he has certain abilities that they don't have.
Oh man, respectfully, you go. I can't.
Schmeichel
Schmeichel and
yeah.
Peter Cech are the best keepers I've seen in the Prem, hands
No,
down.
I
You know
agree.
what's crazy? You know what's crazy? Yeah, my brother's messaged me. He just said, "Hey, no way De Gea has a better legacy than Alisson." The thing is, yeah, I hear that in aspects, but I, I don't know. I think if you're putting Alisson there, De Gea's got to be in there. A, longevity. B, he's had crazy 5 years. He was arguably one of the best keepers in the world alongside Neuer. Between 2014 to 2018, he was up there with Manuel Neuer. Nobody can argue with
Who?
that.
De
You know what I
Gea.
mean? Let's be honest. De Gea, he was up there with Manuel Neuer. Are you crazy? Between 2014 to 2018, are you telling me he wasn't up there with Manuel Neuer? Are you crazy? He was
That
up
game,
there. He was
that
up
game
there.
against- oh my god, that game at the Emirates where he saved like 33 shots.
Emirates,
Yeah, that was an elite performance. But listen,
bro, come
Manuel
on,
Neuer,
man.
brother, Manuel
Right,
Neuer
I'm not,
is.
listen. Hear me out, man. I
Wait.
said he was up there with the conversation
Hear
with
me out,
Manuel Neuer. What
David
are we
De
talking
Gea.
about? He was.
David De Gea was a great keeper, and there was a time period where he was considered one of the best in the world. I agree with you there. But the way that he is connected to the Manchester United's banter era has negatively affected his legacy. The fact that he won a league title near the beginning of his career.
No, I think he's done his job though. I think certain time he's been the one that he's done his job, and you know what? Fair play to him. Now that there's a level playing field now, and the manager wants to evolve his football. Now David De Gea is the odd one out, and fair
No,
enough.
but
I'm
when you
happy for
remember
that to happen.
when you remember banter era for Manchester
I don't remember David De Gea in the banter. Okay, the team, yes, but David De Gea has been the one where it could have been worse. If David De Gea wasn't even in that banter era, it could be Arsenal's
Yeah,
level
he
of
was
banter era.
saving. He
and I'm not
was
being
saving
disrespectful.
United points. If we're being honest, he was
Exactly, bro.
actually
Let's be
saving
real.
you guys
No,
points.
he's
Let's
also
be real.
he's also starting the fires. He will make a bad pass and then get mad when a defender doesn't do his job. Like, let's be real. I rate De Gea. I'm not belittling De Gea, but I just feel like he will be for now, because of the end of his career at Manchester United, he'll be more synonymously remembered for that than the good times, because we're so far attached from the good times. When were the good times? In 2013?
No, because you know what it is though. I get it in terms of his bad. But the thing is, though, his bad times are for me a bit overstated. I think his bad times here, I get it. It's been crazy. There's been comps over there, but I still believe his good times have outweighed his bad time. I can, for me, say that wholeheartedly.
I've got a question.
Again, I see the deficiencies. I see his mistakes. They're glaring, but the good times have always outweighed the bad times. I'm sorry, I'm not having this argument that the bad times have outweighed the good time. It's been more, but we've just reached a limit where it's time to move on now. And respectfully, it's time to move on. But go on, Goonie.
I got to ask you both this question, yeah? Name me one thing that Manuel Neuer was bad at, and name me something David De Gea was bad at in their elite prime. Name me.
David De Gea's distribution. The thing is, I'm not here to to kind of, you know what I mean, like talk badly of Manuel Neuer. I think for me though, they were playing at a level where we were saying David De Gea is outperforming Manuel Neuer, or David De Gea is doing, you know what I mean. We're talking about them on neck and neck. That was my kind of my overarching comment. But I hear you in terms of Manuel Neuer's weaknesses are, you know what I mean. They kind of like few and far between. That's what
That's what I'm,
you.
that's
That's
what
what
I'm
you're trying
trying
to
to
say.
say,
No,
bro.
but what about De Gea?
But he's
Let's
also playing in a league where, come on, man, let's be real,
Let's
man.
not
You know what I mean?
overcriticize De
Bundesliga.
Gea. But the thing is, all I'm saying is, do you guys feel like the end of his time at Manchester United kind of tarnished his legacy as this legend at your club?
What do you mean his end of time into Tarik's legacy? What do you mean he should have left earlier? You mean we should have left
Yeah,
earlier? But the thing
should've
is, he
left
didn't tarnish his own
earlier.
legacy. Man United should have found a way to maybe ease him out of the team and ease him out. It's Man United's fault for me why David De Gea has kind of almost tarnished his own legacy in a sense, because they should have found a possible time to kind of say, right, we're gonna move you on now. They kind of prolonged the inevitable. It kind of got a bit, you know what I mean, expired. When you have something in the fridge and it's expired, as it goes on, you know what I mean? It kind of rots, doesn't it? I'm not trying to say that's David De Gea, but I'm just trying to use that example. If you don't take it out of the fridge, who's in charge? Is it the product or is it you? It's you, because you've not taken it out of the fridge. That's what Man United should have done. They should have found a successive plan after David De Gea. I don't necessarily believe anything has tarnished David De Gea's legacy. It's down to the club to say, right, when is the time to move on now? And that's what it is.
So
That's just the
you're
way I kind of
saying,
look at it.
are you asking if he's top 5? Because I don't know if he's top
No,
5.
no. He's top 10. I said he's top 10. Top 10 for me.
Okay, he's top 10. I think top 10 is a lot easier to say, but then in that case, then we're going to start talking about, is he better than Kasper Schmeichel? Because Kasper Schmeichel won 1 league title. Obviously, he's better than Kasper Schmeichel. So, and then it's going to become a situation where we compare him to people who are legends in the league. I don't really think you can put him ahead of Petr Cech. You can't put him ahead of Van der Sar. You can't put him ahead of Peter Schmeichel. I don't think you can put him ahead of David Seaman. Alisson.
5. So name me your next 5 then.
Courtois.
Courtois, no, he didn't. He was
Courtois won
in
multiple
2-3
league
years.
titles. Courtois won multiple league titles.
But you're talking about his Premier League era, right? His Premier League
Premier
time.
League era, man. Premier League era. We're talking about This is Premier League. We're not talking about all
Okay,
top
so
10
you know
of all
what?
time.
After 5 and 6, it gets kind of difficult to leave David De Gea out. So I hear you.
That's what I'm saying to you.
He's in the top 10, but at the same time, I don't think when you think of greatest Premier League keepers, first name that doesn't come out of your mouth is nowhere. David De Gea is nowhere near that. That's all.
That's why it's top 10. Because if I said to you top 3, then you know what's coming out of your mouth. But I said for me, it's top 10. And that's why for me, you can think about it clearly, precisely, and then go from there, if you know what I mean. So
was his peak better than all those other guys?
Not better than
And
Courtois. He
no,
won
not for
2
me.
Prems and 2 FA Cups, to be fair.
Yeah, but for me, in terms of his longevity and what he produced himself personally, and the way he could have, like, Man United could have been so far worse, you know what I mean, in a sense, if David De Gea wasn't there. I truly mean that. I was there, witnessing it firsthand. It could have been so much more uglier. And David De Gea was a shield for Man United's bad kind of almost
I
like
can
form.
agree with that. I could agree.
Yeah, absolutely, man. If he wasn't there, and I don't think, you know what, I'm going to say it as far as David De Gea is just that kind of guy where I don't know if any other keeper would have that mindset in that situation of, it's so bad every single year, but you're performing every single year. You're performing. And you know, that mindset for me and that longevity and still to produce year in, year out, that's why for me he's in that top 10, man. You know what I mean? That's why you've got to find a different way of looking at it, not just only trophies. And that's why I say you can't use that spectrum or that kind of, analysis, because Steven Gerrard is in the conversation for top 5 of all time.
Did Hugo Lloris get in to this list?
Who?
Hugo Lloris.
No.
He never won, because we're doing
I don't know,
longevity. He never won a trophy. Are we going to count him now? I'm just thinking, like.
Then I'm throwing in names like Shea Given and Brad Friedel and all these guys as well. If that's
facts. Shea Given was a bad boy. Shea Given was a bad boy. Shea Given, put respect on his name, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's other guys in there as well. Pepe Reina. You've got.
What I mean, yeah.
Who else is in there? Edison obviously gets involved in definitely anyway. Who else is in there? No, Jens Lehmann. Yeah, Jens Lehmann. You said Joe Hart. You know what I mean? So there's other ones in there that you would argue you know,
And you know
could be
what?
in
De
there.
Gea is
David
better than
James. You know,
De Gea is
let's be
better than
honest with
those
you, man.
guys. You know what? I
Sorry?
give it to you. De Gea is a top 10. He's gonna be considered a legend. But it's just for the next couple of years, you're still gonna remember the bad times. I think a
Yeah,
couple
no,
years
that's
from
fair.
now, 10 years down the line, when we're a little bit further away, removed from De Gea's bad times, then you're going to remember the good times. Because I feel like when somebody's retiring or just leaving, you more or less
Exactly.
remember the bad times. So in 10 years' time,
Exactly. Recency
everyone's
bias.
remember De Gea
Recency
as a great
bias.
keeper. But right
Yeah.
now, you're going to see 2-hour fail comps on Twitter. That's what it is.
Yeah,
right
yeah, no. And one thing as well, yeah, just to kind of round it up, people have got a lot of recency bias. I get a lot of people that slandering David De Gea, but you know it's going to be tough for Onana in the start here, and all these guys, yeah, I'm going to see how will they kind of drop Onana straight away because I know these guys, innit? These guys are on Twitter, yeah, that just love success and they're not here for the bad times and whatnot. We're going to see how easy they slander Onana because I already know how tough of a job it is to be Man United's #1 goalkeeper. You've got to be patient. Onana, he might have a bad start, but you've got to be patient and you've got to ride through Onana's bad form, and then later on you'll see.
Especially with that type of goalkeeper as well, with that profile of
Exactly.
goalkeeper, you have to have patience and you have to accept that once in every while they're gonna make a mistake. Alisson's done it, Edison's done it, the best of the best have all done it.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say this though. You were on my channel earlier this year and we're talking about De Gea and Ramsdale. And one thing you said to me was, "Oh, you guys want midfielders. You don't want the goalkeepers." Now you're getting one of the biggest ones, Onana. He literally will come and do a kick up in front of a player just to get the ball away.
Yeah.
So,
Listen, I'm with it, man.
You're gonna be
I'm
nervous.
with it, man.
So nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
I'm watching him make those moves.
I ain't gonna lie to you, yeah. The Old Trafford crowd, yeah. I'd say it's not an older fan base, but they just love like kicking it long. And I can just know when you're in the stadium, kick it long. What you doing? You know what I mean? I know already. I've got like I sit next to Leslie, yeah. You know Leslie. I don't know if you know Leslie. She's been Old Trafford for 50 years, yeah. And I'm telling you, I know what she's gonna say. I don't like this keeper. He's scaring me. He just needs to kick it out long. But she has to understand that we're playing a different way of football, and she's gonna be of a many that will have to get used to a different keeper. And we'll have to see how people react to it because I don't think at first people are going to like it. But as they get on, they're going to understand why he is needed at Old Trafford and why we need a new keeper.
And you're going to notice he's going to start your attacks a lot better.
Exactly. Of course. 100%, bro. 100%, man. And Smokey says it's Seaman, Van der Sar, Michael, Lehman, check. There's 5 all better than David here. So how he's in the top 10, though. But they will. Yeah, what's your next 5 as well? What's your next 5? You know, because you've only just said 5. So what's your next 5? So I'll let you do that while we kind of shout out the channels and whatnot. And guys, big up to everybody who's locked in, man. It's been a solid debut show every Sunday, 3 p.m. Save it in your diary, people. This is the latest show on the channels called Super Sunday. It's going to be me, Igal, Guli, George, and obviously Roms, who's not been here today as well. So big up to everybody who's been here. Igal, man, let them know what you got going on. Big up to you for coming on as usual, man.
Yeah, man. Eagle Talks Football. You guys can check that link out right my name right there. That's my name on my channel, my TikTok, my Twitter, Instagram, everything. So you guys can find me there. And of course, I do have a video later today at 5 o'clock where we kind of are going to talk about transfers and everything going on the other clubs. But mostly I do talk about Arsenal, but I keep it on Premier League mostly also.
Absolutely, absolutely. So make sure you check it out, man. Goody, you heard there, Smokey. He says get on it. So what are you saying? Are you active soon?
I've got this guy right next to me, so I might have to put it into use today. So yeah, man, let me just do that. In fact, I'm gonna record a video after the stream. I wasn't actually planning to. I was gonna be lazy today.
Big up, man.
But you know what? I'm gonna do it. I need to get back into the routine of at least posting daily, man. 100%. So I'll be doing that. I don't know what the topic of the video is going to be. I'm just going to post something up. Yeah. So definitely subscribe. Man Knows Football. You know where to find me. Saeed, thank you for having me on the platform. Eagle, it's also good to work with you today. You didn't rattle me today, and I really appreciate that one there. So yeah, man. Big up all of the chat. You get me?
Yeah, man. Make sure you follow him, Man Knows Football. Make sure you follow George on his Twitter. Make sure you follow Roms, Big Six Bands as well. And like I said, people, I'll be back later on 9 p.m. Me, Flawless, Andy Tate, Double A, for the Unfiltered podcast. So I'll see you at 9 p.m. Check out Igal at 5 p.m. and check out Goonies Upload. We're out, people.